All right.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone on YouTube and welcome Marcelo. This is the Talk and Talk immersion about uh, the public, the role of public architecture. And I would like to first introduce myself. My name is Jared. I'm 25 years old. I have a beautiful wife and a dog. I live in Texas in the United States. Um, we work and study information technology and you love to read on the side. And so, um, I'm going to university for computer science, just to add on some more technical expertise. And yeah, what about you, Marcelo?
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Marcelo. I live in Rio. I am 65. Um, I am 65. I am married. I am married with Roberta. She's she's my wife for 32 years. Well, I have two sons, but they are adults already. Bruno and Gabriel. They are 29 and 30. They are entrepreneurs also, like me. I run businesses since I was young. Well, I've been in five universities and I have a lot of skills. I've been in, well, I can't name them now, but one of them was technology during the AIDS. I am a lawyer also. Well, I have a lot of skills. I don't like titles or diplomas. I prefer to say that I know I am what I know, and that's it. Well, in my free time, when I have this free time, I love to read books. Also, well, I surf over the internet, over YouTube. A lot of interesting videos that we can search now. It's very democratic. And of course, I love to read biographies. I think that biographies makes us better because you can learn from another life's person. And that's it, Jared. That's me.
Yeah, it's like walking into someone else's shoes, biographies, experience what having experience what their life was like. Yeah, there's a lot of good biographies out there. Um, right. Well, I'd like to before I begin these questions, I would like to uh, mention that no one here is a teacher. We're all students. We're all it's just a discussion, very casual. Um, and and we're if anyone's listening for the first time, just understand that this is a no judgment zone. Anyone from any skill level can come into an immersion and talk and give their thoughts and opinions on each question that comes up. Right. Well, starting off with this first question is what is the primary goal of a major public building like a library or museum? Should it prioritize functionality and user experience, or should it serve as an iconic and artistic statement? Primarily, mm, buildings all have function. They have that's people build these buildings for function. So that always should be the primary purpose, especially for a library. Imagine a library that, it's maybe very beautiful and artistic, but it's just maybe you go inside, it's only like 10 books. Like, is that considered a library anymore? It's, so I think that's always the primary goal. People like to just make make the building more attractive by making it artistic and look iconic for any city or town. That way, it can bring people over and make it more popular. But the most important function is always, uh, you know, user experience and uh, giving people this like sense of purpose, like what the building's about. What do you think, Marcelo?
Jared, I didn't tell you, but I've been in the architecture university in the 90s. Well, uh, I am not an architect, but I love to draw my projects. I Now I am building a house, but I've ordered a project from another architect because we have so many rules. And but the philosophy of being an architect is inside me, and we have this discussion. We had this discussion during the course is about form and function. This is something that you start learning when you in the first semester of architecture. Uh, of course, we have to the building must have a function, and it can serve people, and it can be it can serve as um, a public space that you can use. You can be served of that, but you can grab form. You can bring beauty to that building. So you can use both elements here. The architecture itself thinks about function plus form, but function is more important than form, than beauty. We have a lot of beautiful places, but they are not functional. We've seen that in many cases. In Brazil, we had this famous architect named Oscar Niemeyer. He projected the ONU building and a lot of important public space among the world. But actually, a lot of projects of Oscar Niemeyer, they are not functionals. They only have beauty, and sometimes it's a problem because you can see the building from outside. It's beautiful, but when you enter that place, it's something that you cannot understand. The space are not reasonable, and you feel lost sometimes, and the function is sometimes lost. So I think we have to prioritize functionality uh, than beauty. That's what I think.
Well, that was very interesting. Uh, were there any good architectural books that you recommend? Um, like,
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, yes, there is a book of that is about functionality. Is Neufert. It's a German architect. It's a very big book, and here you can see it's from the 40s or 50s, and you can have a lot of SketchUps of any program that you want to project. We have there the spaces, the quantities, and how is a bathroom, kitchen, stadium, a soccer field, any space you have over there, just to project the space about functionality, not about beauty. That's not about beauty. And about beauty, of course, we have a lot of good books. We have so many important architects. One of them that I love to mention is Calatrava. Calatrava is a Spanish architect, and he can use functionality and beauty so well. You can see that there is a museum in Rio called Tomorrow's Museum. It's so nice because he could make like a skeleton, and a lot of parts like bones, those bones they move during the day to make shadows to protect the building from the sun light. And the space are so huge and a lot of functionality. You can see Calatrava on the subway station where it was the World Trade Center. It was so beautiful, so nice. I've been there, and this is an architect that can join functionality and beauty, and that's you. If you want to see more about that, you can look for Calatrava. I think he is one of the best today. Of course, we have Gary. We have so many good architects. But unfortunately, my Brazilian Oscar Niemeyer, I don't like him.
Oh, well, I mean, is it you don't like him because I mean, I don't know who that would be. Would that be someone that's not you don't think their art or architecture is good, or is it because of something else?
Well, both. First of all, because he was a communist guy. I don't like this kind of people. I respect, but I don't like. I think. Uh, well, we are going to talk about, and we have a question here. Is I think is the third is about Brasilia. Brasilia is Brazil's capital, and it was designed by Oscar Niemeyer. The buildings and the design of the city was from another guy, Lúcio Costa. But the buildings are Oscar Niemeyer. And Brasilia is a city, first of all, it's a communist city. Those huge avenues. Like, if you think about the Führer architect, Spears, he designed a lot of huge space where Hitler used to make their speech, and it's like going to Moscow and the Red Plaza, and it's the same. They are the same. And this is a place where you can, there isn't soul in this kind of, for instance, you are American, so if you go to Washington, Washington is the capital of the United States, but all the founding fathers of the United States, the Constitution and everything, you can see there. You can see every icon remembered there. But in Brasilia, you can see the man who made our independence. You can see the man who discovered Brazil. You can see the man who first did something. You only see empty spaces and buildings, so cool, so empty of soul. I don't like that. I think we a city, you must remember the history of the country. And Brasilia is empty about Brazil's history. So that's something about function and beauty, because I think, in my opinion, if they decide to make the new capital in the 60s, when I was born, well, at least the Brazilians icons should be there, and they are not there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's very unfortunate when you don't see the, yeah, people that came and set up the foundation of what the country becomes. Like you said about, Washington D.C. is like you could see everything within eye distance, like Capitol and just everything. Like 'cause you can see every monument, every beautiful structure set up, and yeah, I haven't been to Washington D.C., but I really hope plan on going soon to see the monuments. So the next question is: should public architecture be designed to be timeless and stylistically neutral, or should it probably reflect the architectural trends of the era in which it was built? Um, well, let's give you a funny example of a difference in architecture. Well, a lot of people know what McDonald's is, and they have this like very known art or architectural design from like '90s to 2000s, and it's like everyone recognized. But now they switch over to a new style that's more of like um, timeless and stylistically neutral, and you honestly you can't really like look at it and just recognize it. Like pass like someone is driving down the road or something, you don't see it because it doesn't like this. It kind of just looks more bland compared to it looks like it's just like many other buildings. I think with um I think it people look and they like to see something that recognizable. They want to see something that you know that really says a lot about the times. So um, when I go into countries in Europe and looking at the buildings that were constructed that 500 years ago, 600 years ago, they can look at those and be like, wow, that's really cool, it's amazing. And then people in the future can always come back and like, wow, that one must have been pretty interesting. I wonder how they made that. They will get curious about it when it's something that's like this, you know samey, something that's just it's completely neutral, it has anything popping out that stands out for that building. It just it's nothing you can yeah, it's nothing inspiring to look at and get people, like, interested. Like, if you, go there was this spot in, I went to, Amsterdam, um, and, like, earlier this year or was last year. Right, but there were a lot of the buildings in the certain area were just exactly the same. Every single building, it was like copy pasted like everywhere. It's the same building. And it's like, I was riding a bike and I was just riding down the roads, and they were just it was looked like I was just going in a circle or just going. I was just stuck in a loop because there's always the same building. I was like, I can't see anything that's recognizable. Like there's everything just looks the same. How am I supposed to figure out like it's very good to find something recognizable because it's good to, use it as a marker, like, instead of, like, having like, if you don't have a map on your phone or, like, or you lose signal for whatever reason, it's good to have a marker that's recognizable. If everything is built the exact same, you don't really know what's not a good measure of where you're at. What do you think, Marcelo?
Jared, first of all, I think it's so difficult for an actor create something that is out of his time because he is using the technology that we are supposed to use now. And one of the things that is the worst part of architecture is when someone uh, pretend to use the uh, the characteristics of an era, want to pretend to build a public space that reminds something from the past. If you can imagine, you can recreate Athens. It's impossible. It's impossible to recreate um, Rome, the ancient Rome. It's like in Brazil. We've seen a lot of malls that they build the Liberty statue in front of the building. Come on, in this era they are bringing the French gift to the United States. It's from the beginning of the 19th century. But sometimes we have a lot of architects that can create something that is timeless. For instance, if you see in New York the Guggenheim Museum, Frank Lloyd Wright, it's from the 30s, I think, 40s, at least 40s. And if you go to that place now, you think it's from today. It's brand new. So we have a lot of public buildings that when we have architects that they really they were far in their times, and this is so interesting because it's very difficult for it's like for you to think about the future, like the Jetsons, the cartoon. I think about when in the 60s you could see in that cartoon tablets, smartphones, robots that cleans the house. You can see drones that enter the window, and it's something that is timeless. But in architecture, um we have a lot of good people that can create that, but it's very difficult for an actor to be timeless, or it's very ugly when they pretend to use something from the past, or pretending to be something that is so. You have to outstand when you pretend to do something public, and it's so difficult. Um, well, that's it. I think we have so many icons. I remembered the Guggenheim Museum. We have other buildings, of course. We have Frank Gehry's the museum. I think it's Guggenheim also in Sydney, Australia. You can see it's from the 70s, I think so, and it's so new. They use titanium plates. It's like a spaceship. So as I love this kind of architecture because they are not from this planet. These guys, believe me.
Yeah, some people they sometimes they are really creative and they think outside the box, or they're ahead of everyone in terms of style. And it's amazing to see what someone's creativity can bring. And it's something with like architecture. It's just it stands out more. Like you can people go by it and they can see it. And it's it usually can be like a pretty big building or smaller size, but it's still recognizable, and I do have to appreciate all architectural art. Now, with this next question, um, how important is the relationship between a public building and its immediate surroundings, such as parks, plazas, and transportation links? Um, well, it's, I mean, I think it's important to have a public building that's easily accessible. Um, I mean, if it's something that's far off that not many people can reach, then chances are like not many people actually go there. So having it is difficult to plan this out, but in some cases, I think it's best to put like the best um and most used types of buildings to be in like in the center part of the city. Realistically, it can't always be that way because there's already places there, but it needs to be something that's easily accessible. As for like parks, and parks can go a little bit further out. Parks can be a variety of sizes from you know like almost like the size of someone's yard to a giant, massive, um, um, like uh, 10 kilometers big uh park, and those were better to be on the outside portion uh of cities. I think I think it depends on what the building or structure is like. So I think it's when they plan out these public buildings, they need to, consider accessibility, location. Um, uh, there's a lot of factors involved. I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but I know there's people that already probably consider that when they're building stuff. What do you think, Marcelo?
Yeah, Jared, I agree with your points. Well, I think it's about infrastructure. In some cities, you can they have this kind of they are so worried about infrastructure, and when they decided to start a project about a public building, the infrastructure came before, and it's about parks, plazas, and transportation links, and of course we have this car road. We have to think about parking lots and a lot of other things. Um, and it's so important. Sometimes you see Brazil is a very bad example because sometimes they during the the FIFA World Championship in 2014, they in Brazil they've created a lot of soccer fields, new stadiums, huge, and they some cities they didn't even had clubs over there or people to use the place. They were all used during the FIFA World Championship. It's a pity because they are empty. We've done in 2016 the Olympics here in Rio, and all those places are empty. All those stadiums for biking, for swimming and other sports, they are empty. They are not useful now because they think about the moment. They don't think about the use in the future. And some stadiums, some soccer fields that they created during the FIFA World Championship. Um, uh, People couldn't go to that place because they didn't have a transportation, parking lots. It's so far from the city. If you plant this kind of structure inside the city, it would be a mess. It's crowded, a lot of traffic, and it's so important when you think about create a public building like a museum that are supposed to receive a lot of people daily. You have to think about infrastructure before it came. It came together with the project, but sometimes the project is an institute or a group of guys or a donor is the owner of that project, and the city is about to think about the infrastructure. Okay, they don't came along, and so they are they think differently. The city depends on laws, on budget, and it's different. So I think in the first world they think about that in with perfection, and in my country it's not about that. Sometimes you can see a lot of beautiful places, and the project is so nice, but the infrastructure is about to ruin everything. That's what I think, Jared.
Uh, how would you feel about the like cities like New York and like how a lot of in Manhattan there's like a lot of big skyscrapers on this one tiny piece of land, and it's kind of like you heard about it sinking and like and out like they never planned this in the past. I mean, when they're developing New York, but like over time there was a yeah everything starting to sink little by little because there's so much weight from the buildings bringing it down. What do you think about places like that, or other cases that you heard about? I think you're muted.
Okay, Jared. Even though Manhattan is so crowded and so complex, I think it works. I think it works. I give you an example. I've been to, I think 3 years ago, I've been um, to a concert at that stadium inside Manhattan. I forgot the name, but I've been twice over there. The first one, uh, it was 10 years ago with with that band, the Bono Vox band. I forgot the name. U2 band. And with my son Bruno, it took 3 years. It was 3 years ago. The man from Pink Floyd, and it was crowded. So many people with we've decided to go using the subway system, and some when it's over, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 people leave the place, and in a few minutes it's empty. Everybody's going to their hotels and homes, and it works. It works. I think even though it's so crowded, we have a lot of traffic, we have a lot of problems. New York can solve the problems. I don't think it's sinking. I don't think it's going down because I think we have earth below the island, but I don't know. It's a desire. Every I don't know, not me, because I didn't like to live over there, but a lot of people they like to even to visit. New York is so fantastic. But uh, it's it works. It's different from my city, Rio, from São Paulo. São Paulo is about the big São Paulo is about 20 million people. It's so. I think New York is about 5 million people. I think so. It's a lot of people, but it works. We have transportation, we have public service, we have a kind of security. It works nowadays because they've changed a lot of policies, and it's better now. And I like this kind of city. Of course, I you can see Central Park, for instance. It's like an island. Inside that island, you could rest, you could walk the dog, you could play sports, and well, it's fantastic. New York is fantastic.
New York is
Uh,
fantastic. I've been there earlier this year.
yeah,
It is beautiful.
State Island, so nice. It's like the countryside. You go if you go there. It's not about New York. Something different. My wife is going to New York next Tuesday. She's going to run the marathon, New York's marathon. So it's 42 kilometers. So it's so.
A whole marathon?
Yeah,
Wow.
she's 50. She is 53. You know, she runs the marathon. Yeah,
I wanted to run a marathon, but it takes a lot of training, so it's impressive. Hope I wish her good luck with that. Yeah, uh, well, places like New York is very interesting. Of course, it's it's like many people have found ways to work around and make things work, like you said. You're right about that. So, um, and if you being on the ground, going through New York and just seeing those skyscrapers are just massive, reaching up, and it's like they're going up to the clouds. They're just really, really tall. Um, it's really interesting, but I mean, all of that was designed um, through just development of the city. It was all natural. What about places like Dubai that develop those Dubai that develops things just to attract people, like Burj Khalifa um, and other structures? Like, what do you think about like architecture that's natural versus natural development versus completely like almost like forced planned development? What do you think about that?
well, I think we have a lot of trends now that are bringing green to buildings. I've seen a lot of new buildings. I don't know where. Actually, I can't remember. About like forests over balconies, and it's like a forest. It's not a skyscraper, but it's high. There's about 50 stories, I think so, and they can merge nature with architecture. I think it's a tendency. I don't know if it is sustainable because sometimes you can see the book, you can see the project, and it tells you that you are supposed to live in a fort. But when you deliver the places to a person or to a group of person or even to the public system, sometimes it's very expensive to maintain. And when you think about apartments, for instance, each one of the owners could make what they want. So it's very difficult for you to keep that image. But when you talk about public space, we have a lot of cases that they can mix very well nature with architecture. When you use light structures, glasses, you can use water, you can use a lot of gardens, well designed. I've been to Japan in 2023. My son Bruno is now in Japan. And Japan is so nice. They can mix nature with architecture. In that, if you talk about Manhattan, you can think about Japan. It's small. I don't know. I think it's smaller than a lot of states in the United States, with a population of 200 million people. You can imagine how difficult it is. And they can remain nature. Some public spaces are so well maintained. The gardens, well, it's amazing. It's amazing. They protect. They can keep that places in a very good condition, and it's interesting because they can live in small space. It's not about Brazilians or Americans. You can see houses with 5 rooms and, well, and they can.
Are you referring to those pods that like it's like a very small space, looks like a pod?
Yeah, you can see the apartments. The room is the same where you eat, where you sleep. They convert. They have furniture that can change the function of the place, and they are so fantastic. Uh, and that's, I think, that they don't have space. Of course, it was impossible to have those castles as we have now. We have a lot of space, and they don't have. And the space that they have, it's about agriculture because they have to eat. They have to, and it's so amazing. And they can. It's a very interesting. Of course, the United States, they keep the space, the public space, the gardens in squares, and it's so well maintained. But Japan is better in that
Japan
in
has
this
looks like
system.
very beautiful
Oh well,
architecture.
you don't have I don't know how come Americans they don't have um, bullet trains, those so fast trains as Japan. Japan is amazing. I was in that train from Tokyo to, I think, to Kyoto. It's about but almost 300 kilometers per hour. It's about uh, 200 miles per hour. I don't know why Americans they don't have this kind of trains. I don't know why, because they have money. You have money. I don't know. It's about making better investments. I think the Americans they lose a lot of money in defense. And that's why you cannot invest inside the country. I think it's one of the problems. But that's something that it's a choice that American people made. But that's it. Japan is fantastic. Do you know Japan, Jared?
I haven't, but it's one of my plans in the future. I really think what you say about bullet trains would be a really good idea in the U.S. I mean, going from east to west coast and no time at all would be amazing. But I guess within the U.S., people care more just about flying to places using airplanes than having like a bullet train. Um, so I think it's just probably far more expensive to keep flying. I think it would have been cheaper to use a bullet train. But maybe one day, I think California is working on like a high speed rail, um, but it's taking like a decade to finish it. Yeah, maybe one day. Um, well, that concludes those questions. Marcelo, what do you think about the discussion today?
Oh, Jared, it's awesome as always. It's a pleasure to be with you here. It's so important to me to improve my English, to talk about a lot of issues that are so important, and to bring vocabulary, to remind something, and to develop this skill to improvise. It's something so difficult, and it makes me more comfortable when I watch TV in English and see some movies, because even though I've been learning English for so many years, I still have problems when about understanding native people when they speak fast and they cut words, and they it's not something that you can imagine. It's difficult. Uh, Another problem is that uh, English has a lot of accents, a lot of ways to talk. Australian people and South African and English in England, and American in England, and even inside the United States. I think if you heard about people from the Bronx or the Harlem, it would be difficult to understand what they are saying. So it's something that it never ends. Learning a language. It's so it's so vivid. It's so alive. It's so difficult because every day you could see slang, an idiom, um, the way they talk, they no words, no words, of course. And English is so difficult. I think it's the same for you when you try to learn a foreign language. It's the same because it's so it's different from French or Spanish, because I think English is more spoken than these words, so it turns more difficult, at least for me. And I think talk it's a very interesting experience. It's a pity that only we two were here tonight, but it was amazing for me, Jared.
Everyone's sleeping. Would you mind me asking how many languages you speak? You know Spanish and French, I think you said. What
No,
else do you speak?
well, my native language is Portuguese, of course, and I speak Spanish because my mother and my grandfather were Spanish. But I had to enter a Spanish course, of course. But I do speak Spanish. French a little in my fundamental in Brazil in the 70s. We used to to learn French instead of English. And I've entered an English school only when I was 17 years old. You can imagine. So I lost 17 years of my life. It makes different. It makes the difference now. My sons, they started to learn English as babies. Because in the past it was different. And I speak a little bit of French. The problem with French is that is not a language that we can use in a daily basis. It's different. It's like German. It's so difficult for you both my sons, they've studied into a German school, and they speak a little bit German. But they don't use, that's the problem. They use English, they don't use German. And that's why it's a language that in Brazil few people speaks German. And French, I am trying to return to French, to return to a course. It's difficult because it's more difficult than Portuguese. In English, you have the conjugation of verbs is so easy, and you don't have gender. In Portuguese, you have gender. In in French, it's more difficult than that. You have more. The conjugation is so complicated to understand, and it's not easy. Even for me, even with the Latin language native, that's well, that's it. But I think I am doing well in English. I am improving my English, and that's it. That's why I'm here, and
Oh,
I am
great.
so glad, Jared, to be with you. And I thank you so much to be
You
here with
sound
me.
fantastic. Your English is fantastic.
Oh,
Good to
thank you
have
very
you.
much.
And I really hope that you come to the my next immersion next week. So I hope to see you again.
Okay,
It's a
Jared.
pleasure having you, and
No,
have a good evening.
good evening, Jared.